Second part of the video, we're starting with ace-10. We're gonna raise, normal sizing as usual. At poker, we always want to raise with the same sizing. Why is that? This is a mistake that bad players do. They have aces, they're gonna raise a lot of money before we see the cards. And they have a stupid hand, they're gonna raise really small before we see the card. And so it's very easy to read them. You can, if you pay attention to what they do, you realize that they have a medium hand, they raise small, they have a strong hand, they raise big, easy to play against them. So normally, when you play against good players, you want to have always the same sizing. That way, you cannot be read. Being read meaning that some people can look at what you do and read you. They can read you because you're very predictable. If you always have the same sizing, if you always open with the same sizing, like 2.5, big blind, then you give no informations. You are not going to be exploited. Easily exploited is what good players do against bad players when we know that here they're going to bluff too much, so I'm never going to fold, or they're going to bluff too little, so I'm never going to call because they only have monsters, or they have very weak hands here, so I'm going to bluff a lot. So weak players are very easy to read, and normally at poker you're trying to not be easy to read when you play against good players. When you are playing against bad players, which you will most likely do, because to be honest, if you want to play against good players, you need to play pretty big games, pretty big binds. So if you don't play against good players, you actually don't care about that, and you are happy to have different size. Jacks, I can call, I can raise, but look at it behind me, there's like a very bad player. I want him to come. I want him to get in the hand, because when he get in the hand, he's gonna make mistakes. And if he makes mistakes, it means that I'm gonna make money. Pocket Jacks is betting, so I'm gonna fold. You shouldn't fold here against bad players. Against good players, you should fold in only one specific situation. Is this one? What is the situation? Is that this guy is the first one who talk? And when is the first one who talk? He has very strong hands, because as you remember in my previous videos, when you are the first one to talk, you cannot open medium strength hand, because when you have a medium strength hand and you open, it's very likely somebody wake up with a monster, raise you, and you cannot see the cards, so you just cannot play. So when you are facing the first, what we call under the gun is the first one who receive his cards, and the first one who talk before we see the flop. When you play against him, you need to be very careful. Meanwhile, when you're playing against the button is this guy. The button is the best position, because once you see the flop, so this is the flop. Once you see the flop, who is talking first? This guy, small blind, is talking first, and who is talking last? The button. So when you're in the button, you will always talk last, and so you'll always see what people do, and you are in control. You are the one who decide. If they check, you're the one who decide if you want to check and see the next card, or you're the one who say no, I don't want to see the next card. We're gonna put money in the middle. So being in the button is extremely powerful, and when you're in the button, you can play a lot of hands. And so if you're playing against the button, and you know he's aware of that, he's aware that he gets to play a lot of hand, but then when you're against the button, just don't be afraid and be sticky, meaning like don't let him bluff you easily. So pocket jack open, we have second pair, so when we have second pair, you don't want to put a lot of money in the middle. And he bet very quick. That's really annoying. He bet quick and he bet big. I'm not gonna fold yet because my hand is strong, but it's not amazing. And king, okay, king is good for me because well, he has some kings too, but not that many. And king is good because now if the next card is a 10, or if the last card is a 10, I win. Yeah, I'm just gonna check. Here, I think I'm gonna win around 20 to 30% of the time when he check. So this time I lost. But once again, we are not trying to win every hand when we play poker. We are just trying to play good. Pocket 3, we have fourth pair. We're just gonna fold. This low pair, you are just trying to get a set. A set is like a third three. And when there's a third three, and you have a super strong hand, and so now you can put a lot of money in the middle. Try to put all your stack in the middle, basically. But when you have this small pocket pair and you don't hit the board, and people start to put money, yeah, then you can just fold, easy. 9-6 suited, we could play it, but who is opening? Under the gun, the first player, the guy who talked first. He's opening. He has a very strong hand. And this guy is a good player, and he knows that he has a strong hand, but he's raising anyway. So he is basically saying to everyone that he got a monster. And so if he has a monster, what do I do here with King 10? I fold. With Queen Jack, I fold. Ace 10, I probably fold too. Ace Jack, probably fold too. 5-6, bottom left, same story. Who's opening under the gun? He has a monster hand, so we're not gonna play this hand, even though it's pretty. 5-6, my turn. I'm not gonna open it here. The reason is that there's 9 people behind me, 8 people behind me. So somebody can wake up with a monster, and my hand is pretty and want to see a flop. But if I get raised, it's kind of annoying. So I'm not gonna open 5-6 when I'm the first one to talk, when I'm under the gun, but when I am in late position, like the button or the blinds, this hand is great. This hand is great. Pocket queen, really strong hand. We open, same sizing. We don't give informations. We always open with 6.5. Big blind, he's calling. It's a green players, bad players, and this guy called too. And we have this board. If we want to go a bit too much into technique, this is not a great board for me. It's a better board for him and pretty good for him too. So I need to be very careful here. And so I'm gonna check my queens. When I'm checking queens, I'm not that scared that the next card is an ace or a king, because it can happen, but it's not really likely. Meanwhile, when I have pocket 9 here, if the next card is a 10, a jack, a queen, a king, or an ace, now I'm pretty sad when I have pocket 10. So when I have pocket 10 on this board, I'm gonna bet. Pocket queen, I'm not gonna bet. Now I have to choose. What do? I'm actually gonna deviate from theory, and I'm gonna bet small. I have second pair. Second pair, we want to be careful. We don't want to put too much money in the middle. But when this guy play this way, he's pretty weak. And so we're just gonna try to make money. So here, I'm gonna try to get him to call me with an 8. Pocket 6, pocket 5, pocket 7, pocket 9. And he folded very fast, so maybe he had 2 hearts. Maybe he had something like that. 8-6, we have nothing. See you later. 7-6, Queen 7 offsuit. Pretty even hand. Seven, 8 offsuit, not good to play. Nothing to do, obviously. If it was suited, it would be a totally different story. Suited, lovely, I play it. I really want to play it here, but offsuit, nope. So here you would have said, look, you would have made a straight. Oh, you folded the best hand. Yeah, sure. Of course, sometimes you can make a straight with this hand, but it doesn't mean you should play. Okay, so this guy, all right, great. This guy is a fish. A fish is a noob. This guy is a noob. This guy raise, call. Oh my God, this is disgusting. I have the 7 of heart. I would have made a straight flush. So a straight flush is a straight plus a flush. So it's the best possible hand. He had a straight. He had a better straight than me. He had ace of heart. Yeah, cool. That was a fun hand. That was a fun hand. So, multi-way, donc, nut first row, plus 3-bet, flop, small. I just take notes on what they do to try to get some reads on them before. The way he played this hand was horrible. Ace 5, bomb pot once again. Everybody see the flop. with a random hand. I'm gonna do a little cheeky strategy, which is to bet 10% of the pot. We're not gonna explain why because it's a bit technical. I have two aces, which is great, but I have two aces with a 5, which is not great. If I had two aces with a king, is great, or two aces and a 3, so I have two pair. I have basically the best hand like 95% of the time. And here, I don't have a mega strong hand, but I have a fairly strong hand. They call, and now it's very interesting because, okay, we have two aces with a 5, which is bad. Which is good, but it's probably not good enough to keep betting. But I have two aces and a 5, but I also have 4 diamond. And 4 diamond is really, really good. So we're gonna bet. And we're gonna bet something small, something medium. Medium seems good. Medium seems good. He fold. I just don't want him to raise me. If you raise me, I cannot fold because my hand is too cold, but that's really sad because if he raises me now, he basically has a better hand than me, and I'm just trying to get a diamond. But he fold. So we win a medium side pot, and that's great. Queen 10 suited, we open. He raised. It's a bad player. He raised kind of small, a bit less than 3 times my bet, and he's a bad player, so I'm gonna call, but it's important to realize that this is not a great hand to call a 3-bet, because when he raised me, he say he has very strong hands, and so this hand could fold already. I'm calling because he doesn't know how to play poker, so I'm gonna be able to make money out of him later. And now I'm just gonna fold. I'm not gonna try anything funny. We're just gonna fold. We saw the cards. We don't have anything, so bye. King 6 suited is meh. It's meh, but we can play it. King 8 suited. We're gonna defend. So he open. I'm in the blind. I'm gonna defend. And now that I defend, he's the one who attack. He's the one who has all the good hands. So we are never gonna bet here. Very important to understand that. Don't bet when you defend. You check and you let him bet. And if he doesn't bet, now you can put money in the middle if you have a strong hand. But here, if I had 2-8 or 2-7 or ace-8, ace-7, I would not bet. I would check and wait to see what he does. Because poker is a game of armies. His army is all of the hands he has, and my army is all of the hands I have, and his army is much stronger than my army here. So if it's much stronger than my army, I don't have any reasons to go out and fight him, right? I'm just happy to stay where I am, hide in my bunker, and wait to see what he does. It's his responsibility to put money in the middle, basically. And now he's betting, we're gonna fold. Ace-Jack, what happened? He opened, Ace-Jack is good enough to raise, so I raise. He call, Ace-King board, amazing for me. He check, I bet 1/3, he fold. A bit sad because I had 2 ace, but that's fine. We still win small pots, and when you win small pots after small pots after small pots, you end up with pretty big stacks. 5 deuce. I have a pair of deuce, which is shitty, and I have the 5 of clubs. So if the next card is a club, I have a flush, but I have a flush with a 5. I'm not gonna play this one because if he's bluffing, he's gonna bluff with what? He's gonna bluff with a club in his hand, and if he has a club with his hand, it's almost always a better club than me. So I'm not gonna try and call and try to make a flush with the 5. We're just gonna protect our stack, and we're just gonna wait for a better spot, wait for a better hand. King 9 offsuit, we don't play it. I think you start to realize that at poker we are playing very few hands and we're being patient, and this is online with 4 tables. When you play live and you have only 1 table at a time, you can fold for 1 hour, literally 1 hour. You play zero hand, and you need to be comfortable with that. It's going to be frustrating, but you're going to have to take it. You're going to have to accept it, basically. 4-6, I have 1 to see the flop. I'm definitely going to put 1 to see the flop. I risk 1 to win 11, so I need to be right 9% of the time. So great, I see the flop, amazing. Now I have nothing, so I'm not going to bluff, and I'm just going to go away. This guy bet very fast, very big. See you later. King Jack offsuit, we are opening. This guy call, so he say he has a medium hand. This guy call too. Interesting, we have 4 club. Where's the king of club? That's pretty cool. So we're gonna bet small, 1/3. If they fold, we're happy, because if they fold, we already win. If they call, we still have the chance to improve. I'm gonna bet small again. I can still win because he can still have a hand like Queen 9 with the Queen of club, and he called because he has the Queen of club, and I have a King high. So my hand is just King high, and his hand is Queen high. I win. Ooh, pocket 9. He open, I call. We make a set. We make 3 9s. We're gonna bet. Please raise. Really unlucky. This is the kind of spots that are really rare when we make such a strong hand. And obviously when it happens, we want them to put money in the middle. 6-7, we are going to defend. So once again, we're not going to raise this hand. We're not going to open this hand, but we can defend this hand. When we are in the blind, we're going to defend. He doesn't bet. I'm not going to go crazy here. There's three big cards. It's great for him because his army mostly consists of big cards. My army mostly consists of small cards. Top left, I open, he raise, we fold. This hand is folding to a raise. And now we're going to bluff here. Now I think it's a good spot to bluff because he check the flop, his 3 first card, he checked the turn, the 4th card, and he checked the river, the 5th card. So I mean he checked 2 times, sorry. So he has very weak hand. So now we're just gonna attack and try to win the pot. Easy peasy. A7, he open, he call. We can raise and we can call, but look at poker this way. If I call, I risk 5. Well, fuck you. If I call, I risk 5 to win something like 30. It's great. I have my risk reward is amazing. Well, now he's raising and he's raising really big. I'm not gonna do anything. Well, it's a bit annoying because A7 is good, but you know, he raised huge. I'm not going to do anything. Even if I had Ace Jack, I would just fold because he's saying he has a very, very big hand. Pocket 7. We have 3rd pair. We're against a fairly good aggressive player, so we're gonna be careful. If I bet and he raise, I'm gonna be really sad. So I'm gonna check, and I got lucky because the next card is a 7. So now I pretty much have the best hand. He's betting small. We are going to raise here because we have 3 7s, and we want to win a lot of money. And also, if he has 2 hearts, I don't want him to see the next card for cheap. I want to make him pay to see the next card. Right, so I want to protect my hand because my hand is very good, but it's vulnerable because he can easily make a straight or a flush. And I also want to win a lot of money because my hand is huge. So I'm raising. Ace Queen, he open. Ace Queen, great. We raise 3 times his bet. He call. We have a King 10 board. It's good for me because my army has a lot of kings. His army not so much. So I'm gonna bet here 1/3. He has almost no chips behind, so if you go in, we have to go. And now, okay, let's be realistic. If I'm bluffing here, is he gonna fold? He has only 20 left to put, so I don't think he's gonna fold. So I'm just gonna check, try to see my card. I don't get my card. I don't get my jack or my ace. And now he goes all in, so I have to call 20 to win 140, which is something like 17 or 18%. Do I win 18% of the time? The thing is, he could have his jack. It's really hard. He could have his jack. Yeah, I'm gonna fold, but it's close. It's close because my risk reward is great. I risk 20 to win 140, so my risk reward is great. I need to be right only 17 or 18% of the time to call. So yeah. Okay, we're gonna watch these two last hand and then we're gonna let it go. So here, I'm gonna start betting now as a bluff. And queen 10, I'm gonna raise. I don't want the good players to get in the hand. And it's a pretty fine hand. King 6, I bluffed, he fold. We love it. Queen 10. Well, now we're folding. Now we are folding because he has almost no money behind. And my risk reward is not great. I need to be right 24% of the time, but when we do this, they have a monster. So we're gonna fold. We're gonna watch this one because it's actually not so bad. We have nothing, but we have an open-ended, meaning 4 cards following each other. So we bet really big. If he call, we can still improve, and if he fold, we win the pot. So it's great either way. Okay, I hope this was useful, and see you again.